Hi, I'm Kimberly Horn.
And I'm Hudson Warren. And we meant well. All right, friend.
And
Let's get going.
Here we are again. I know. Back to it.
Yeah. Where did you mean well this week?
Oh, my goodness. All right. So I don't know if this is we meant well. I always do mean well. And I have very little patience. I have patience for most people until I'm in an airport.
Oh.
So let's talk about this real quick, friend.
All right.
Have you seen Harry Potter?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, like when they're in the depths of Gringotts Bank and they have that waterfall that goes down, and basically when they go through it, like the truth happens, or people turn out, magic is gone.
Right. It's like a truth serum.
I think that in the airport, there has got to be something that when they walk in, they lose all humanity.
Oh.
And I just don't understand people. Like, they're not kind. They don't think about other people. They push in front of people. I mean, we were getting off the little tram in Tampa, and a guy is holding on to the thing, and I'm like, no, it was in Atlanta. And he, instead of just stepping out of the way so people could get out, he like holds on it,
He
and we
just
have to
kind
do
of stands there.
London Bridge is under him.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with people?
I don't get
And I really do mean to be nice. And I'll tell you, I'll go through TSA pre-check, and I always say thank you to them, because God bless them.
They just get yelled at all day long.
They get yelled at all day, and they're there to do a job.
Yeah. So
I really do mean well when I walk into these airports. And I tell you, I hold back more throat punches in the airport. And I'm a kind human.
I'm always looking for like the hope for humanity, and I feel like I can always find it a lot of places. It's not in an airport, though.
Airport.
No.
Yeah.
People jumping in front of little old ladies, like to get off the plane. Like, how about you just wait your turn?
Do you know one time I was sitting and some guy said, or I said, do you mind grabbing my bag? Whatever it was, we were all waiting. Or he said, I'll get your bag. Which one is it? I guess. I don't know what it is. And I said, oh, it's the purple one, because it's purple. And I said, be careful, it's heavy. And he goes, oh, never mind. You can grab that.
Oh.
I was like, well, you need a pill of sweetness, kiddo.
Yeah.
You big old wimp.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Where'd you mean well this week?
I've been meaning well since we started this podcast. Every time we're like, we know our topic, we know what we're going to talk about. And yeah, don't worry. When I get there, I'm going to have my thing for this and my points for that and my who thought that was a good idea. And so far, I'm 5 for 5 on showing up completely unprepared. The great news is I figured it out before we hit record, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to keep saying it at least.
Yeah, we always figure it out.
We always figure it out.
It does. Yeah. We mean well. This is what we meant this to be anyways.
Well, yeah, we meant this to be imperfect. So why would I prepare? I feel like I've added another job to the pile of jobs that I have, and I'm just still getting into the flow because I show up prepared for other professional things in my life.
That's
so
okay.
We're going to get there.
We
I
always
swore I was going to be prepared, and here I am.
So maybe next time?
Yeah, maybe next time or by episode 100, whatever. It'll happen.
By 100, we'll at least have that thing.
It'll happen.
All right, so what's our topic today?
Ooh, we are going to talk about boundaries. That's that thing that most people don't have.
Yeah. I'm still working on mine.
Yeah, I'm definitely still working on mine. I'm certainly better than I was 10, 20, however many years ago, but woof, it's a work in progress.
Tell me more.
Well, so so here, I'll start here. I hit a point in my business years ago where I was really making very good money, like a lot of money, like all the figures behind it. And I was really successful. I was at the top of my game. And I hated it, and I was miserable because I was working all the time. I was available like an ATM. And so I made a decision. Like, I was either I quit, I have a heart attack or a nervous breakdown, whatever comes first. Yeah. Or, I go get a job as a greeter at Walmart. Like, what skills do I have? I'm a real estate agent. It's not rocket science. Anyway, so I was like, well, I'm not going to quit because I'd have a very unhappy family. So what I decided to do was to try these things on called boundaries. People talked about them all my life. I didn't know what they were, but I decided that I would go down that road. And I got pretty good at it. I got to this point where like I stopped taking any professional obligations that were on nights or weekends.
Yes.
And in real estate, that's kind of a big deal. A lot of people a lot of people believe they can't do that, which I believed it. It's not true.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't willing to do it.
Mhm.
All the things. It worked fine. I did a really good job of it in my real estate. And then I added coaching
Yes.
into my world.
Mhm.
And it's turned into this thing where, and it's never not my fault, where when I have somebody who pays me to be their help, their guide, their supporter, their reference, when they reach out to me nights, when they reach out to me weekends, they don't ever necessarily demand that I respond. And yet here I am on my
And
phone real
you're
quick.
responding.
So I've maintained the boundary for one of my jobs. And, like I don't have the phone at the table. I still do
Mhm.
that, but I've gotten a little bit rough about,
That's so true.
like, I feel like I've become how everybody else is, and that phone is just kind of surgically attached to my hand.
Yeah.
And so that's one that I really have to work on. And I know I can do it because I've done it before. I just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, yes to boundaries. Whenever I was
Yes to boundaries.
yes to
Deep
them all.
thoughts.
Let's
Yes.
just whenever I was I can remember the moment in time when I realized that I needed to have more boundaries, and it was when I
Yeah.
had the twins,
Mm,
and I was working in the DC area, and I was running the number one office up there, and I had taken 4 months off to have the twins, and I was all in on the twins, right? And before that, I didn't. So I was going into the office and doing whatever. I just was
mhm.
like, I love to work. I love my people. Well, when I had the twins, I can remember I had negotiated working like a day or two from home for the longest time.
Gotcha.
And the boys were just starting to walk and everything. And I remember being at home on the phone with an agent and the kids, and it might even been the weekend, and the boys tugged on my pants or whatever and said, Mama. And I said, hold on one moment. I've got a call. And in that moment, I was like, wait a minute. When I'm at work, my kids don't call me and say, hey, I need to interrupt your job. Why do those people get to call me here?
Mm-mm.
And so I had this moment like, no more. Like that we definitely have to do that. And so when I moved to the Tampa office and started doing that, I was very clear. Same as like you. Like I got it figured out. I'm nights and weekends. Like if it's an emergency, it's called 911. It is not called my
Yeah.
telephone. Like I'm not your person, right? And I still very similar. We travel a ton. We get very connected with the people who we are
Mhm.
in front of, that we train and we coach, and we feel this affinity for helping them because we have a servant heart. Like I think that's the hardest part, is we feel that way. And I think sometimes I forget it. And it was interesting because I make a joke that I have like one feeling.
If you can find it.
If you can find it, and if you heard it, we're going to have it. And so my coach likes to joke with me, who's hurt your feeling this, and usually it's only the people who I love the most and I
Yeah.
have the most, whatever. And I remember her telling me this, and this really, because going back to our last episode, like I will lose it on my kids. And it's all because she says anger shows up when a boundary is violated.
Ooh, that's a throat punch.
It was. And I go, okay, hold on. And I go back and I look and I go, I got super mad because somebody violated a boundary that I felt was something that they shouldn't do. And so I started picturing this in my mind. And listen, I think way outside the box. So crazy's going to show up on a
Yeah.
constant basis.
Yep.
But I actually think about when someone tries to, penetrate the boundary, or they're trying to make me come outside of what I think is right or wrong. And it is my job to say no,
Yeah.
or yes, or whatever. And if I choose, I'm not saying that I can think of it logically in the moment, but when I do it, I have to look back and go, well, I did that.
Yeah.
I can think about some of the things that we do for our role,
Yeah.
where we travel, and the other side will set very specific goals. And when those goals don't get met, or they don't do the actions we ask them, in my brain and I get very frustrated with that. I get very angry with that. I don't like that vision of me or that version of me. And it's still a boundary that these things I'm still working on.
Yeah. The other funny thing with boundaries is I feel like, specific to the world that we live in today, like I strongly desire to be open, vulnerable, and authentic. Like
Yes.
I don't want to live some like
You're teaching me that.
standoff thing. And I feel like I'm constantly like walking this tightrope of how am I being super open, or am I oversharing? And, am I potentially putting things out there for my family that they don't want out there? That's been a
Yes.
weird thing because I want to be real deal. I don't want to hold things back. I also don't want to hurt anybody I
Yeah.
care about. So that's an interesting
You know what? That is so
line to
true.
toe.
I've started, Savannah's in the part of her life now at 9. She loves to do videos with me and do fun
Yeah.
things. And the boys, I have said to them, if you don't, I'll say, because I'll go to record and they're like, don't put that online. And I'm like, I won't. That's a thing. I'll say, if you don't want it, I won't put it on there because I have to respect their boundaries
Right.
and what this is. And you're right, because we do, we have a lot of people who, or at least 4 or 5 people who we might inspire, or they may listen to us, or they may, they may say things, and we also have to be fair and honest to our family as
Yeah.
well. You mentioned phone on boundaries,
Yeah.
and I will say I'm not on my phone, and that's such a lie. It really is.
Yeah.
And lots of times it's just, honestly, it's keeping my brain from going 15 different things. Like seriously playing a game or just messing around. And yet I'm finding it's very much, where's it at?
Oh, yeah.
It's a muscle memory. And I
Oh,
really, for my kids' sake, I don't bring it to the dinner table. That's a big no-no, unless I'm waiting for something and I get permission from the family.
yeah. Yeah. If There's
But
there's always an
I don't.
exception, but
And
yeah.
I'm still on it.
There,
Quite a
but
bit.
and boundaries are important.
They are so important.
And I think they're a huge stepping stone to success and healthy living and all that. Like what boundary hacks do you have? Like we're talking about all the stuff that we're not
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
right, but like what do you do to maintain boundaries, to enforce them, to create them? Like what are some hacks that you have?
Usually, well, one fun one, actually, our coach, Scott, has brought to me, and he's starting to ask me on our calls is, what did you say no to this week?
Mm,
Do you know sometimes I have to really sit down and think about what I
yeah.
said no to? So that's a hack. The other one is every time I'm I'm a very introspective person, believe it or not, with my crazy that goes on. If something doesn't go right and I find that I have some energy around it, not the energy that I would prefer, I look back and say, where was my DNA in that? And how do I do that different?
Yeah.
A lot of times my hacks, I'll reach out to you and Amber and say, what would you do in this situation?
Yeah.
Or do you think this is a good use of time? And I have to say to myself, and I go back to a couple episodes ago when you said, does it bring me joy and does it increase my wealth? Because, and I'm not saying to do everything for money or do everything for joy, but I tell you what, it's a pretty good answer when you could say yes to both
Yeah.
of those. And the one hack I've really gotten, and this one's the hardest one for me, and I'll let you kind of go and whatever it is. As I've gotten older, do not want to give my energy to everybody.
Nope.
I've got very clear on who I want to give my energy to. And that sometimes hurts people's feelings because I don't spend a lot of time with them. It's not because I don't love them. It's because my time is so finite.
Yeah.
It is so little. I'll go home to visit my mom and she'll be like, I invited blah, 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 blah. And I want to see these people. I love these people. I go home to see my mom and my sisters.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend time doing something, I want to spend the time with the people that pour into me as much as I pour into them. So that's been the hardest one
Yeah.
to me to uphold, because I'll immediately go, I want to do that with you. And I go, whoa, wait a minute. How about you? What's your hacks?
There's a few. So, I mean, I think first of all, so I've known a lot of people, myself included, who have set a boundary for themselves, personal, professional, it doesn't matter. But that boundary involves other people, of course, respecting the boundary. And I've seen a lot of people feel like they've failed at it or they've gotten upset at the other person. And a lot of times that's simply just, we never actually set the boundary out loud. Like we just decided we were going to be different, but we didn't let anybody else in on the story.
So true.
And so I think, an important part of setting boundaries is actually doing so out loud with the people, places, and things that need to know them.
Yeah.
And explaining to them why and making sure that they're on board so that you give them the opportunity to give you what you need. So, actually saying it out loud and setting expectations, right? That's a big thing. The other thing, and I think this would go for, I'm so used to talking about it in rooms that are focused on real estate careers, but I think this would be helpful for anybody. When you have something important that you are going to give your time to, that you've planned for, it's on your calendar, whatever you're doing, you you have to stop letting everybody know exactly what you're doing all the time. And what I mean by that, especially like, let's take a professional setting. You're an entrepreneur of some sort, or for all I care, you're a doctor or you're whatever, you're a lawyer, you're some sort of professional, and you have a client or a potential client that wants to meet with you, Wednesday at 8 o'clock at night, and you don't work nights, or frankly, you're not going to work that night because your kid's got a soccer game, or you're going on a date night with your
Which
spouse.
is still so important.
Whatever. Like, we have this tendency, and it's a beautiful thing because we want to be honest, right?
Yeah.
So we have this tendency of saying, oh, I can't because I have, and you insert the actual thing that very often is something personal, or even it's something else business wise that they also won't care about. I've made it is like a, a set reaction that comes out of my mouth and my brain. I have an appointment. Everything's an appointment.
Because it
Like,
is.
period.
If it's
Like,
an
I don't
appointment with
care what it
yourself,
is.
yes.
And the great thing there is people respect the word appointment.
Yes.
People don't tend to ask questions when you say it. So, I joke with people. I'm like, it might be that the appointment is I have another appointment. It might be that I'm getting my hair cut, or I'm taking my kids somewhere.
Or
It
don't.
also might be that if I don't take tonight off, I will stab another human. And so, like, I don't care what it is. You don't have to say it out loud. And it becomes really interesting if you're in a setting like real estate or other jobs. I mean, you could be like hairdressers, things like that, where you tend to work with a lot of friends and family because you think that they would put your personal needs first, but in professional settings, they won't. And before you judge your friends and family for that, just realize that you're probably the same way when the shoe's on the other foot. So stop giving people
Access.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I have an appointment. What about this? I have an appointment. What about this? And same deal with when you're choosing your yeses and your nos. If I look at it this way, if their feelings are going to get hurt, like, I'm not invalidating anyone's feelings, but I feel like that usually comes from somebody who doesn't have boundaries.
Yeah. Because you're like, why would you not take this time?
Because
for me?
anybody
Why-
else would be like, yeah, totally get it. I said no to a paid speaking engagement just last week.
Yeah.
Or the week before, I think. Either way, recently. And I'm communicating with another busy person. I didn't really hear back from them when I told them no. I didn't necessarily make up a story, but I didn't know if they were happy about that or not. I happened to then run into that person, and she was like, oh yeah, like, hey, thank you for getting back to me. Sorry I didn't answer. Totally get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do something different another time and have you out. Like, she wasn't mad.
No.
Because she has boundaries. She understands this. I gave
that's so
her the
true.
reason, and it was okay. So I just think that, boundaries. I mean, we're all a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress when it comes to boundaries. But I think that, that would be the things that I say. Say it out loud to the people that need to hear it. And, don't give people such an all access pass to your life.
That's actually a really, really good one. And I'm gonna not plus it, but I'm gonna add to it. I used to always, because I'm a calendar person, I would say yes, let me check my calendar, because that gave me a chance for the calendar to be the bad guy.
Mhm.
And it wasn't that it was an automatic yes. It wasn't that it was an automatic no, but it could be not now, could be later, and it should be somebody else.
Yeah.
And that gets to be okay as well. Like, you don't always have to be the everything. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. I have to be very mindful on boundaries for also personal wise with my husband and myself, because I grew up with a big family. Like, I have 4 sisters. There are 23 nieces and nephews. My husband has 2 brothers and a brother and a sister and 1 other grandchild. And so for my house, like, I'm used to like bat crazy all over the place, and it's fun. And he's not too. So I have to be very careful on protecting him on that, because I'm just like, no, everybody can do it. Ooh, he doesn't like that all the time.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I get that.
I'm chaos married to calm. So I definitely.
I know. I swear our husbands
I
are
think
really
Brian, every
like,
once in a while, we'll have people at the house and he'll just kind of be in the corner quiet. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God,
We
he's on
should-
overload.
we should send those 2 out to dinner. But if we did that, they would really talk about us the whole time. So maybe that's
I
a
don't
bad
think
idea.
they would. I think they'd probably sit in silence most of the time and enjoy it. Like, it wouldn't be a punishment. I just think they would sit in
They're like,
silence.
Gosh, this is much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think about on boundaries that are
No, I mean, I think I would just encourage people to have them, which I know
Find
sounds
one.
like such a goofy thing to say, but I know so many grown adult human beings that
Yes.
have no boundaries in any aspect of their life, and they are always the most stressed, the most on edge, the most unfulfilled, the most exhausted people that I'm around. Like, I mean, I can think of people that we know in common, and that's who I think of. Put a boundary in your
Yeah.
life. Start with something small. Start with something simple.
Little.
Start with no phone at the table. Start with dinner together. Start with one night a week you don't take on, like, start with something. Start
small.
with you're gonna go to the gym every day. Even pick one thing. Again, I feel like this comes up, it's come up multiple times already in these short few episodes, and I feel like it'll continue to come up. I believe that so many humans are so extreme, and they're waiting for everything to be perfect to actually jump in and implement something. And you're not going to go from having no boundaries to being the most protected and collected person ever, but you could start with one.
Yeah.
And you could do that for a little bit and see how you feel.
Yeah. I'm going to bring it back to the airport one last time.
Oof.
The one thing that they do have right, they say to you, if the air masks come down, you put it on yourself first. And I think we treat boundaries in the opposite. We give it to everybody else, and we need to start protecting who we are.
Well, that's a great point. This is something I talk a lot about. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to
Of course
claim
not.
it.
None of us are.
And like when I look at parenting, like I think that I know so many parents who give everything to their kids, sometimes everything to their kids and spouse, although sometimes just the kids, and that's a whole other challenge.
Yeah.
But what I truly believe, and maybe I'm just justifying my own choices, but I truly believe that, take kids out of it. I think that when we take care of ourselves, I think we label so many things selfish that I actually think are selfless. I think it's selfless to take care of yourself because you can want to help all the people in the world.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be very effective at it.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to stop believing what we've been told is selfish. It's 2026. It's not 1956. Like, you're allowed to take time off. You're allowed to get a massage. You're allowed to go out with your friends and have your spouse watch. Like, you're allowed to do things for you. We have to take care of ourselves. And I think most people do a really bad job of it.
Really bad.
And I'm certainly not perfect, but I do. And I tell my kids, I'm like, we talk about the hierarchy all the time. You don't come first. I come first, then your dad, then you guys. And it's the same for him. He comes first, then me, then you guys.
Yeah.
It has to be that way. And I want you to have the right example there.
I agree with that. All of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If more people had boundaries, do you know what? I mean, everything would be so much more clear.
Yeah.
It would. All right. What do you think's not a good idea?
Now here's the deal. Who thought this was a good idea? I know who thought this was a good idea, but this was a long time ago. Can we just be done with daylight savings?
Oh my
I know it's coming soon. The time's going to change. Although we're going into the nice time where we get late light. But could we just stop?
We could just stop.
Time zones are confusing enough. Numbers are hard. I don't like any of this. I know we're not going to get rid of time zones, but I don't understand why we can't all follow the state of Arizona and just get rid of daylight savings time.
Absolutely.
It's dumb. It's annoying. It's confusing. And while I'm ranting about that, since I know so much of our world is in the real estate and sales and just business world, for the love of all things holy, it is 2026. And if you're still sending emails and texts out to the people in your database, reminding them of the time change, you sound like a dinosaur who doesn't know how to get on the internet, because every device in your world is already going to tell you and change it for you.
Exactly.
So stop. If we can't, let's just get rid of it. First of all, that would fix all the problems.
That would fix, because you would have nothing to send out.
Until that happens, I love you. I say this with love. Don't you send that email out. It's awful. It's
so awful.
Love you, mean it.
Yeah, your phone is already switched off. I mean, that's, oh my gosh.
Get it together, people. What did you think was a good, or
well,
whatever. Words are hard.
I fell victim to this, so I think it's a stupid idea. Or who thought this was a good idea? So, cell phones, kids and cell phones.
Oh yeah.
So, we started our middle school here, and the kids' middle school for us is 6th grade, and same for you. And most of I guess I don't remember what it was for me. Anyways, in the 6th grade, they kept saying, "Oh, the kids are going to need cell phones to do their homework. And I'm like,
Oh, heck
I was
no.
like, wait, no. And so we, of course, did not do cell phones right away in the 6th grade because I was not buying my kids cell phones that they have access
Yeah.
to everything. And sure enough, they needed it for certain things. Now, they could have gotten away with it. But do you know they were in the major minority of not having a phone versus those who have a
Well, I'm
phone?
not surprised at all.
There's no reason to have a cell phone in school. And they kept saying, my kids would go to school and they didn't have a cell phone for like the whole first. I think we got them Christmas of 6th grade. Knowing what I know now, I would have waited even longer. They would sit at lunch and it was dead quiet because every kid was on their cell phone.
Yeah, look, parenting is wild. I ain't here to judge other parents. We have 6 kids. We have 1 kid with a phone, and her access is pretty restricted from a time perspective and a literal access perspective.
Mhm.
But she's 14. She'll be 15 in a few months. She has a phone. The rest of them, they'll get one eventually.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm telling you, ours are 13.
I don't want brain dead robots.
No, ours are major. It's just not a good idea. There was no good idea to this. And my kids will say all the time, and I love my teachers out there.
Oh, God.
My teacher just says, just get on your phone now. And I just feel like
that makes me want to scream.
We're limiting the ability for our children to connect with other humans. That doesn't include this. And they're seeing everything that is perfect out there when they don't need to. And we'll get into social media some other time. I got a whole lot to say about that.
Oh, so many opinions.
So many opinions. We won't do that today. So
Sweet.
If you're liking what you're seeing, we are now, we're 6 episodes in and we're having a great time. Subscribe, like, share.
Review.
Do
all the things. Quit your job and just full-time support our podcast, please. We'd appreciate it.
All right. Bad advice. Don't do that. And
Or do
all the other things. And do me a favor. If you have any good ideas on what you meant well on, and it's a good story, let us know. We will share it. And who thought this was a good idea? We'd love to hear anything about it.
Yeah, or if there's anything you want to hear us babble about topic-wise too.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Because we're gonna need some.
Our brains are gonna run out of steam at some point. Not yet. Some point.
I wonder if that's true.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's only one way to find out.
Well, I'm Kimberly.
I'm Hudson.
Thanks, guys, for
We
being
meant well.
here. We did mean well.